Let's go to this morning where divers are back in the water at the site of that devastating bridge collapse in Baltimore. While investigators try to figure out what went wrong, search and recovery crews are looking for the 6 people who are still unaccounted for and are now presumed dead. Maryland Governor Wes Moore spoke about the tragedy earlier on CBS Mornings.
That bridge has been here longer than I've been alive. That's all we've known. That's our skyline, and it's now gone. The thing that I would tell the people of our state is, first, I'd ask people to continue praying for these families. No matter what kind of day we've had, they've had a worse one. So we got to pray for these families. The second thing I would tell Maryland is this: we are Maryland tough, and we're Baltimore strong. And we're going to be stronger because of this, but we're going to do it because we're going to do it together.
Kris Van Cleave is following the latest for us from Maryland. Kris?
Felt just like an aftershock of an earthquake and a loud explosion.
The devastation of that powerful collision was made clear by daybreak as pieces of the mangled Francis Scott Key Bridge littered the Patapsco River and the deck of the Dolly cargo ship.
The whole bridge just fell down.
Shortly before impact, the more than 900-foot-long ship completely lost power and control of its only engine. Lights flickered and went dark. Smoke billowed above when the emergency generator kicked on, but the engine appeared to remain offline. Tugboats had already cut loose, leaving the crew with almost no ability to pilot the vessel, forcing a mayday message.
Hold all traffic on the Key Bridge. There's a ship approaching that just lost their steering.
That alert gave police enough time to limit the number of vehicles on the bridge's more than mile-and-a-half long span.
It was a very quick turnaround from the loss of control to the mayday being issued. And from the mayday being issued to the response of our first responders on the bridge, I think it's just incredible to see what they were able to do.
These people are heroes. They saved lives last night.
The Dolly's port anchor was deployed to try to slow it down, but the ship was already on a catastrophic collision course.
If you want to get the ship slowed down, but that takes a certain amount of time.
Michael Kucharski is a former NTSB maritime investigator.
Losing power as you're approaching a bridge would be just about the worst case scenario.
Giant container ships struck one of the 2 main support columns of the bridge.
It's only supported in the air at 2 points, and we took one of them away.
Ben Schaefer is a structural engineer.
There's not a bridge that we build, that's any level of economy and efficiency that's going to survive that.
A team of construction workers fixing potholes on the bridge were unable to escape. 2 were rescued from the chilly water, but 6 are missing and presumed dead, including Miguel Luna, a father of 3 who's lived in Maryland for almost 2 decades.
Based on the length of time that we've gone in this search, the extensive search efforts that we've put into it, the water temperature, that at this point we do not believe that we're going to find any of these individuals still alive.
2 main focuses today. The search and rescue effort becomes a search and recovery effort as divers and crews in the water will start to try to locate the remains of those 6 lives lost in this accident. The other thing is the investigation is going to ramp up. The NTSB will be able to spend the full day starting to piece together why this happened. Police believe they did successfully clear the bridge of other vehicles except for that construction crew, but they can't rule out the possibility other people may have still been on the bridge when it came down. Chanel.
Kris, thank you. And I want to bring in CBS News Homeland Security and Justice reporter Nicole Sganga to speak more about the aftermath of this collapse. Nicole, we heard from Kris just moments ago talking about the NTSB now leading the investigation. Earlier today, NTSB Chair Jennifer Homendy spoke about the investigation with Tony DeCoppola on CBS Mornings. Listen.
This is going to take some time. There's going to be a lot of information. It's multimodal. It's the highway structure and the vessel. But our goal here on scene is solely to collect the perishable evidence and identify persons that we will want to interview as part of our investigation.
So, Nicole, what's happening today when it comes to the investigation?
Yeah, NTSB is leading this independent investigation, and there are 3 big things that are going on today. First and foremost, NTSB investigators are finally boarding that ship, the Dolly, between 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. They have a 3-hour window to collect as much evidence as possible. One of the things they're really going to be looking at is the voyage data recorder, which should show clues of when there was power trouble, a possible outage on that ship, when the pilots lost control of that ship, and really break down the timeline. Second thing, they're going to be interviewing key witnesses, personnel that were aboard that vessel, fire and rescue that responded to the scene, even possibly some of the survivors. Third thing they're going to be looking at is those dolphins that, structure around the bridge, the protective infrastructure that was supposed to prevent such a colossal collapse of this bridge. Now, at this point, NTSB says they haven't seen any red flags regarding this particular bridge, but they are investigating all of this and keeping in mind what improvements can be made moving forward in the engineering of these kinds of structures to prevent tragedies like this from happening.
And Nicole, while the investigation is, of course, ramping up, the priority is still this hour to try to find the victims' bodies. How are crews approaching this recovery operation?
Everyone who has a dive team has got their dive team out there. FBI, Baltimore County, there are air and marine assets. They're deploying sonar and infrared to try to locate the victims' bodies. And I asked police and Coast Guard during their press conference last night just how challenging it is. They mentioned that there is a lot of debris in the Port of Baltimore right now and mangled metal, some things that fell off of this container ship. In addition to that, we have reporting that indicates the victims could be trapped inside of construction vehicles. And so getting to those remains, getting to those individuals to reunite them with their families is the #1 priority of the U.S. Coast Guard today, and really all of these recovery efforts. But it's going to be tough. There are currents to deal with, very low temperatures within the water. There's limited visibility this morning, as well as some inclement weather. And so, teams are assessing on the ground when they need to make moves. They're looking at this sort of 10 to 1 p.m. Window for possible, recovery efforts. But there are some challenges ahead.
Okay, Nicole Sganga, thank you.